Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns you're watching my YouTube channel, where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. It's Saturday as we start this session. Therefore, it's time for Star Wars Saturdays. This is an ongoing anthology campaign where I take different tabletop role playing games that are not officially licensed for Star Wars, hack drift, or just drop them in and say, hey, it's in Star Wars now. I run this for the Open Hearth community, which I heartily recommend. And every so often, I put up a new series. By every so often, I mean this is a quarterly series, so I didn't post a new game starting in April until just recently. And folks from the Open Hearth community have the opportunity to RSVP. They jump in, they create new characters, or possibly revisit characters from previous different systems and different stories. And we get together and we tell a Star Wars story together. Um, we are our own owners of the ideas of Star Wars here, so we use as much of Star Wars lore as we find interesting and change it and adjust it when we wanna. Our current timeline is set after the fall of Emperor Palpatine when he was in a Death Star and fell down a hole, and that Death Star exploded. So obviously, he's never coming back. And the New Republic has risen up to try to free the galaxy from the clutches of the Empire. We are in a place called the Tapani Sector, which exists because of West End Games Star Wars. Back in the late 90s, they wanted to make their own setting stuff, and a lot of Western Games Star Wars ended up becoming canon in various ways. Tapani Sector, though, has not been declared canon, I believe. It is cool little setting though. It is set in an area where there are noble houses and the empire has not yet fallen. So there is a star destroyer in orbit over Pelagon, the planet where this game has taken place. And a number of things are going on. Possible weddings, lots of assassins, duels, just your regular run of the mill Star Wars stuff. So, with that in mind, let us revisit for the last time, because this is unfortunately our last session of this series, the Tapani Sector Stellar Conflict series. Stellar Conflict being a Dungeon World hack that I have really enjoyed running. So, for that, let us introduce our characters and players. If you could, Mark, we're going to start from the left-hand side of the character keeper heading towards the right. Mark, if you could introduce yourself and then tell us about your character.
Yeah, I'm Mark. I use he and them, and I'm playing Maxon, who is our bounty hunter for House Pelagia. Um, yeah, Maxon's been touched by some force-sensitive folks, and a little bit is rubbed off on him. I think he's currently tasked himself with both protecting some kids who are maybe Sith and assassinating. Completing a duel in his mind has not been finished with another member of the house.
Indeed. Oh, both enticing things. Next up is Kay.
I am Kay of the She and They Variete, and I am playing Lord Ulrich Corbinian of House Barnaba, uh, who's, just been an innocent little young lad who's not capable of many things and is so grateful to be alive at the end of this, and maybe hopefully he'll get happily, married and sweet Disney princess dreams.
True, and he did make a very traditional offer for that arrangement of
He
the
did.
wedding, so I'm sure that's going to be
Did. And
fine.
he also might have, like poisoned another betrothal candidate and killed her. But, like details.
Maybe.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, no one can prove it.
It was a
Uh,
clutter.
Next up is Stephen. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character, Stephen.
Hi, my name is Steven. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Rick's Barond, whose pronouns are also he, him. Rick's is the scoundrel playbook, and he's been wheeling and dealing. He has, let's see, I think in the last session, he traded the two ships that the Imperials had tagged for one better ship and, pushed the Pelagia noble house to give him a really good deal because they were responsible for messing up our ships. Um, and one of the items that the character started with was something expensive that doesn't technically belong to me, which was blackmail material on House Barnaba regarding how they backstabbed House Calypsa, and House Calypsa doesn't know about this, but um, Ulrich just told everyone on the crew that I had this blackmail material, and so now House Calypsa does know, and of course wants it
House
back.
Calypsa doesn't know, and none of us are House Calypsa.
Oh, I thought.
It's
Don was.
Pelagon. Yeah.
Oh,
Don
I'm sorry. You're
was.
right.
No,
Okay.
Calypso. Yeah.
I think that our previous player might have been House Calypsa.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Cool. And last but certainly not least is Greg. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Valara Nova, the Conflicted Knight. She is a knight of House Pelagia. She has been stripped of her title a long time ago, and has just been asked to be the second for a duel against against
Against a House
what's his name?
Barnaban duelist by the name of
Yes.
Lord Alex Lemaire.
Thank you. Um, and yeah, has been asked to be the second from my rival and probably accepted it.
Indeed, your rival who took the Sentinel title from you in a duel that she won straight up. Awesome. So we had ended the session with everyone. It was moving out day. You were collecting all of your items from your previous ship to, I assume, take them to the night insurgent to the revenant. But that is really up to you. The reveal happened of Lord Ulrich telling everyone that Rick's had this dirty, uh, you know,
I don't think he
blackmail
said
done.
you have evidence that we betrayed House Calypsa. I think he's just like you have this thing that
You
is
have blackmail
illegal.
material. That is
Yeah,
correct.
you have
Yes.
blackmail material.
Yeah.
Thank
But
you. Thank you.
I don't think he spat out the details like, and this is the exact blackmail you're using on us.
Does
Okay.
Ulrich know the details?
Honestly, I don't even know if Ulrich knows, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if he did, he would probably be arguing another point, which is Calypso right now is being an asshole to Pelagia, and we could just yeah, but that's a whole other thing.
Cool. So let's begin at that beginning. That reveal has happened. Maxon, once Ulrich shares this information, I'm curious. Pelagon doesn't necessarily have a dog in that fight, so I'm curious, Maxon and Valara, what your reactions are to Rick saying, "Yeah, that's an opening bid there, Lord Ulrich, to make me comfortable." But how are you guys? How are you two reacting to that? Are you just let the two of them fight it out? Do you have a point of view you want to impress on them?
Hmm. Just looking at my bonds again. I don't. I don't
Always
think.
good call.
I don't think I really do have a dog in that fight.
Fair. Valara, what about you?
Maxon, is this what you talk about with the dangers of house politics?
Hmm. Um, Danger is maybe overstating it, but
I'll step up to Valara and say house politics is an illusion. It's all between people. The noble houses are a loose grouping of people until they're not. They're not real. They're a convenience.
Hmm. A convenience that could be very friendly for you, Rix.
What
If
exactly did house? What? Wait. It's the You are blackmailing House Barnaba because you have proof that they backstabbed Calypso, right?
Yeah, but you don't know that it's backstab clips. You just
Yeah,
know he has
Yeah.
it's just
something on.
I'm
Just
blackmailing them. Yeah.
Yes, okay. So you're not going to share what you have over House Barnaba?
He
Oh,
should. Uh,
if I shared it, then it's worthless. Why would I do that? I
I
mean,
see that your crew members or friends extends as far as perhaps you would see your house loyalties.
no, 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 not at all. Um, we all benefit from this. If I were to give it up, then the benefit to the entire crew is, you know, in danger.
and if something should happen to you,
Oh, if something should happen to me, I'm not stupid. I have, dead man drops that, will transmit.
but then the benefit to us also vanishes.
Oh, and that is true. Yes. I assume my crew takes care of me just as well as I take care of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if the value was distributed among us, it would be less fragile.
I would beg to differ.
Well, I mean, what kind of, at this point, the information that I have granted me a ship, granted me money, granted me protection.
And
That sounds
I
like a
hope
hard thing to give up.
it's almost wonderful how since then I, as a House of Bernaba member, helped you into a even better ship, earned more money and prestige, and am promising you continued protection and contracts.
I don't think it's your protection he was speaking of. I was tasked with protecting Rix. What sort of deal does House Pelagia have with House Barnaba?
I believe in the future a betrothal. To be seen.
Ah, it all comes back to the wedding then.
Hmm.
Well, a wedding.
Is that my job here? To kill your suitor?
Um, I mean, if you do,
Kill the last suitor, I should say.
if you do, that's fine, but I've also worked out alternative means at this point because he's been a slippery devil. And all because I completely dropped the like fanciful young lad thing here. Like he's amongst you guys, like, and
Hmm.
he's just like, listen, it was bad enough that Freya popped up twice. I had to figure out an alternative if Lemaire just wouldn't go down. So that's optional.
You would prefer him to be dead or not dead?
I don't care. Either is fine.
So he's already out of the picture.
As long as I secure, and he like looks at Rix, the ending of this blackmail material into something more fruitful and beneficial for all of us, then yes, it's already dealt with.
Oh, if you destroy this blackmail material, how do you prove that?
I imagine I would need to take the remains of the destroyed material back to my High Lady.
Are you under orders, Ulrich, to retrieve this?
Technically, the line's a little blurred. Engagement gift orders.
And if that's the case, hmm, um, do you know the story? Do you know what's this blackmail material is? Because are you under orders not to
No.
reveal what it is?
How are we so sure that this... Oh
Oh
no!
no.
Oh.
No!
Let's pause for just a second.
No
Yeah.
pause for
Yeah, this is
sure.
good. This is super good. We'll pause. So we had a quick internet uh, flummox, and we're spinning back up. Stephen, the last thing that Kay had heard was, do you know the story? So let's
So
start from there.
I believe what Rick said was, do you know the story of what's on the blackmail material? Did they tell you the information, or are you supposed to be prevented from uh reviewing it? Are you supposed to review this material?
Of course, I'm supposed to review this material.
Hmm. How do we know that this is not part of, or was not part of, Goodrick Torborn's
Hmm.
plot?
I've spent more than enough of my time on this planet lovingly cajoling those children and ensuring that they didn't die, that none of it has anything to do with Gulbrot or whatever, how you pronounce his name, that unnecessary man.
But you would see how this might weaken the Pelagian statin.
I could see that, but I honestly don't think it has anything to do with Pelagia. And after all, we've, as a crew, brought much back to Pelagia and put forth efforts to stop.
Sorry, for a second there, I thought you were actually marrying one of the people in Pelagia, but that's right. You're marrying someone in Barnapa.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
No, you're good, you're good.
I need a conspiracy map. Okay, sorry.
No,
Uh,
you're all good. I mean, technically, there is a Pelagian princess that
yes,
wishes
right?
separation, just
Yeah.
a child.
So, Rich, you have evidence because without evidence, anything is just rumor, and anyone could say whatever they like about
True.
whoever.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So,
And
telling us what it is wouldn't weaken your position.
I disagree.
it would cheapen it in
Anyone could
that.
spread a rumor.
True,
Evidence.
true.
Yeah.
But it would cheapen it in that, you know, if you know where this item is or you know where the cost is, then the cost will go down. Um, but I mean, I'm certain that, you know, someone as intelligent and powerful as Lord Ulrich will be able to come up with something to compensate for this. So, um, I think we should try and get out what exactly this is on the table. And Steven doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what would be real juicy. So Rix is gonna, step out like in private and reveal from his hiding place, wherever it is, um, on his person and come back with the material. So let's talk about what it is.
Yeah.
House Calypsa was House Calypsa, who were they allied with before the fall of the
Ooh, good
Mm.
question.
Well,
I
I was
mean,
thinking, just spitballing this, like Calypsa has also been like they had that whole warehouse explosion.
yeah, yeah.
They were loading, dangerous materials into Pelagia's lands. What if they actually got to deploy them
Mm.
in Barnaba's territory?
So this is Barnaba did something to betray House Calypsa and they don't know.
Oh, not bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Maybe Barnaba was holding
Conspiracy.
whatever that stuff was and assuring Calypso that they were keeping their whatever contraband, dangerous stuff safe, and they actually like sold it off.
Oh.
So during the Empire days,
Mhm.
were they allied with the Empire or the rebels, or
Mm,
do we know? Barnaba.
right.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'd love for Kay to throw in.
I imagine Barnaba was not on anyone's fucking side. They were
Right, right.
Switzerland, you know? Like,
And what
they,
about Calypso? Some of the houses were allied with the Jedi Order, right?
yes,
And that was Pelagio, right?
yes.
Bludgeon's the only one that was like rah Jedi
Mm.
hardcore.
But there were some that were allied with the Sith, correct?
Cadre.
That
We haven't actually encountered them yet.
Okay.
yeah. Massetti is pretty nasty too.
So far what I hear
Oh, maybe
is I like Mark's idea of, you know, there was some weapon trades going through that Barnaba thought was that Calypso thought was legit and Barnaba guaranteed, but Barnaba sold off some of the stuff and then told Calypso it's just been lost.
Right,
But
right.
I'd like for the weapons to be, you know, done in such a way that it was, if they were selling it weapons to the Empire or they were selling
Mm.
Empire weapons to the rebels. Ooh, if you don't
Both.
mind, Rich, let's tie this together to the Empire that just showed up, right?
Ooh.
So
That
maybe
sounds fun.
House Calypso was supposed to be selling weapons to the Empire and was funneling it through, and Barnaba made sure some of it got destroyed or was funneled off to another place. Okay, what do you think about that?
I think they just like honestly they funneled some of it off to make some of their own profit on the side
There we go.
with
Oh,
no
yeah.
concern of who, where, or why.
Mhm.
And I guess what's left, the proof that I have is like receipts
Yeah.
and dates of who they sold it to.
Check out my
Yeah.
spreadsheets.
That's
Maybe
right.
even Barnaba made it look like the rebels stole Calypso's supplies for the Empire. Just kind of fingered the
Oh,
rebels.
yeah.
Mm.
That's even better.
Oh,
Thank
of
you so
course.
much for talking through that. That makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense. Okay.
And you've got the receipts of like weapons and shipments and how they ended up in Barnaban hands and where. Because the Barnabans didn't want to sit on it, they moved it to other places in the fringe and the
And and
Yeah.
probably none of the houses here, Barnaba knows what was shipped and what was done. House Calypso would know what was lost, so they'd be able to align it. But just these receipts, handing it over to like someone, a third party, they wouldn't know what the receipts were. But if you handed these over
Mm.
to House Calypso, they
Calypso,
could
they would
align it
figure
with
it out.
what's missing. Or the
Right.
Yeah.
Empire, they could align it with what was taken by the
yeah,
rebels.
what was
Yeah,
promised and
Yeah.
what
yeah,
Calypso got called to the carpet for.
yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like that. Thank you guys for talking that through. That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
exciting and very last session reveal stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So I think this is Rix comes back out and he plugs in the little dado crystal into the console and we see that little dome kind of shape come up that we see everywhere. And it's got shipping routes and it's got delivery dates on it and all that kind of information and the little hologram thing.
Mm.
Huh.
Gone to great lengths to disguise this. Fascinating.
The houses are good at hiding things, so I think they've gotten it this way through lots of practice. Yeah.
Barnabas are good planners.
it's right there, Ulrich, in your
It is.
grasp.
It's so close. And I think Ulrich scooches in his seat a little more. You want offers, Rix. What do you want? I know you. I'm not going to play the game. What do you want, Rix?
Well, if you're about to be the co-head of House Bernarba, um,
I'll be a
I
prince consort.
I think you can probably provide me with a nice planet to retire on.
You could retire on any planet, and I would ensure, in Barnaban territory, and I would ensure that you had phenomenal days.
True, but I mean that only lasts as long as you do, and just to put everything on the table, who knows how long either of us will be around, any of us will be around, and you know, uh, um, and there's a tenuous uh connection here. If if you go, then I go. If I go, there's a thorn out of Barnabas' side. I know how this works.
This is true, Ulrich. What guarantees that Barnaba will not kill Rix where he stands after he turns this over? Your word?
It would be my word, and it would be my promise after all. A life for a life. You gave me warning when I needed it. Should something untoward happen, which it wouldn't, because it wouldn't be necessary, then I would make sure you came out unscathed. But again, it's unnecessary.
I always prefer deals that are mutually beneficial, where there's a balance. Um, if I had control of um, an important sector of Barnaba space, then um, it would benefit me, of course, and it would benefit Barnaba. They wouldn't, I would be a part of them. Uh, so they couldn't move against me as easily as they could against someone else. Um, yeah. By the way, I'm ready at any time that you want to take this to a roll.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking at like the actual planets that Barnaba has.
Find that fascinating, though, Rix. You would join House Barnaba?
Yes, you would want to be one of ours.
Oh, I think earlier in the discussion we talked about having a noble house, and I said that means nothing to me. Um, I would not be a member. I would be, or if I would be, it would be in name only. I mean,
There
as you
is no
know,
in name only, Rix. You are a member of a house or you are not.
Yeah. They will call upon that name.
and they do not allow people to join their ranks.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Not they're not
So,
Calypso. Yeah.
right. So no, I don't know that that would be an option. And
No,
I'm
I
not
agree.
interested in that.
But I guess here's part of the question, Rix. What kind of life do you want to pursue after this? Do you still want to go around conning, searching space, dangerous things? Or would you rather a more less exciting but more luxurious position?
I don't search out these kinds of things. I just look for opportunities. So a place full of opportunities, it would be fine, whether it's stable or it is, it would be nice to have a stable group of mutual friends and all of that. So,
We have within Barnaba Vincent. It's a forested planet we keep as a resort that also is orbited by several casinos in its moon Vilhoon. And there has been discussion about having a more consistent, perhaps, flight system between all of them to make the merriment just keep going without issue. We'd need someone to be in charge of keeping the merriment going, but also the flight plans and the ships and things like that. And of course, at every pause and interstop, you would be checked into a suite of merit, and you would no longer have to worry about going from place to place. You'd have a route, you'd always have a roof over your head, a very nice roof, and anything you could desire of regular means.
so you are offering the governorship of the planet?
No, God, no. What he is essentially offering you uh, there's an article, uh, is essentially he's like, listen, you can have like a sort of miter status essentially as like the head of like I don't know what the title would be, like the head of transportation or something within via synth, and you could do with that as you will. You could actually fly ships and enjoy the partying part, or you could just hang out on the various locations and make sure that stuff is flights and things are going off. But it's a like a semi-decent government position uh, that would ensure both payment and also opportunity for some fun and yeah, transportation director kind of a vibe for both like fun, pleasure, but also like convenient, cushy if you don't want to do anything.
Lots of
And
opportunities for people to bribe you to get more transportation
mm,
rights, etc., etc.
et cetera, et cetera. There could be some tomfoolery there, but and of course, you're welcome to indulge in anything as long as it's not threatening to House Barnaba. You know,
Awesome.
if some Calypso, not Calypso, I need another house. If some, what is that? What is it? House Rena, what is
House
it?
Rena? What about
Yeah,
her?
if some House Rena heiress wants a private tour for a couple extra thousands to go from place to place to place, have fun, take the money.
Alara moves a little closer to where you've put that data chip in.
Sure. Um, yeah. So I think now's a good time to make a roll
Hmm.
to determine how this works.
Sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I
What?
was looking at Charma PC, unless Ulrich, you have something.
So, what are the stake? Sorry to get all in stakes talk, but it sounds like Rick's made a demand. It sounds like Laura Ulrich has made uh offer. What is this role determining?
So what I was looking for is, so what Charma PC says is when you press or entice a PC
Hmm.
and they resist, one of the things it says is, what could I do to get you to do this? Right? And then that would be the equivalent of the negotiation rather than us going back and forth a bunch of times. I could say, oh, let's settle on this.
Okay.
Um, and that's the stakes that I was looking at. And I think Ulrich's point, what is Ulrich's point? He wants the material, he wants the blackmail material?
Yeah, he wants the blackmail material, and he's essentially saying you won't need it because I will be there, and I am loyal to you, and you have been loyal to me, and things like that. Essentially, and I will set you up so you are in a position. Obviously, it's going to take a second. I can't guarantee it right now, but as soon as I am transitioned, I will then transition you into a position of power that it will both hopefully be fulfilling for you, uh, but also not a lot of work and, get you what you want without having to like deal with as much danger essentially as you do now.
I'm going to spend a commoner move,
Hmm.
which is show a house member the error of their ways, and I'm going to use that to emphasize the statement that I made before, which is that Rix is not going to be solely dependent on Ulrich being able to provide continue his protection. That he knows how the noble houses work, and that he doesn't trust that um Ulrich will be able to stay in his position or stay alive for as long as Rix wants.
And Ulrich would I think emphasize that
Yeah.
Rix just has to make sure that Ulrich stays alive through the wedding and a month after to put the contracts in place.
Oh, and then it'd be up to Rix to maintain that balance. There would be no
Yeah,
protection after that. Okay.
yeah. So essentially, and so you just need to keep me alive until we can get this signed into order.
Yeah, and that would be I will keep you alive until you leave the crew
Yeah.
to the best of my ability.
So he's asking
Yeah.
essentially for an extra month of protection after he leaves the crew.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
in sort of because he's kind of like, listen, I'll get, once I get married, I leave the crew.
Yeah.
It'll take a little bit of time to get you those things that you want. I'm amenable to them. Here is a position that I think will offer you things you want, but that I also knowing you think you might enjoy, might provide you with some opportunity, and would also just be less dangerous than what you're getting right now. Uh, but I can't just snap my fingers and make it happen. I'm going to need a little time to get the documentation and put it through and make this happen.
Well, in reality, Lord Ulrich, what you're talking about is becoming the client. And of course, I, always take care of my client.
This is true. And of course,
Uh,
since I would be your client, it would be remiss of me not to put down a retainer. And so I want to use one of my house moves to where the heck are these things up there? There we go. And share something valuable and luxurious with another to curry favor.
mhm. Um, so, yep,
Mhm.
that sounds good.
And so I think, yeah, Ulrich pulls out probably just like I don't know, just like fucking money. Like I mean, what else, does Rix really want or give a shit about? I think actually, or if you have ideas, Steve, please.
I was going to say let's make that roll now, because that's what is tell you what you want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the mechanical way to have the negotiation.
Nice. Cool.
Okay, Rich, what color am I rolling?
Green.
Green. Okay, and then quick question. So because I'm a little confused, just to clarify, because I used the house move, does that give me like an advantage or a +1, or is that not used if I don't succeed?
Um, I mean, you shared something valuable and luxurious with another to curry favor. If, That's a fair question because currying favor should have some kind of benefit. But then, have we used house moves to give bonuses to other roles?
We have not usually just the house rule happens and therefore the thing happens.
Yeah, I guess the way that this one's written, though, it seems to want another. Don't love that.
I think it's more aimed at NPCs where you're like, oh, I'll just give you the favor.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviate a role, I think is what the intent was, right, Greg?
It was more aimed toward NPCs, but the PC to
Okay.
PC, I think, yeah.
So I think, how about if we adjudicate it this way? That house move gets favor from Rix, and Rix therefore wants to aid you in this role because the outcome would be better for him.
I'll take
Okay.
that.
You're open to
Yeah.
that. That sounds like a good use of it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that is 9, 10, 11, 12.
Charm an NPC. Yes, you could get me to do this. 10 plus mark XP, and if they don't, they must reveal how you could convince them. So I think during the negotiations, um, Rix doesn't have as much of an interest in Viacynth. That seems like a luxurious place. But I think House Barnaba has a outpost on Merlist, which is down in the Free Worlds region. Um,
Hmm.
and I have made up a name for that place called Zigu. Zigo. I'll type it into the chat. If I can get there. And
Valara. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
the benefit to House, so this is negotiation, and then I want to hear the input from the others. Um, there is an outpost from House Barnaba that they're looking to expand in this Free Worlds region.
Mm.
And it's because there is a hyperspace lane that goes through there. So there is a lot of goods that could be shipped from House Barnaba through, and of course Rix could then um, use that as a base of operations to bring illicit goods in, and Barnaba wouldn't move against me. This is kind of a mayorship or something like that. Barnaba wouldn't move against me because I have a trade connection with them. And I get a benefit and Barnaba gets a benefit, and the free worlds have an encroachment.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
did Valara want to say anything about that?
Well, Valara produces 2 glasses of water, as this is a tradition on
Ooh.
Pelagia.
Hmm.
Ooh.
And I will invoke my house move to reinstate the ancient tradition. You both drink from the water, and you pledge that you will fulfill these promises, or you shall both die.
Uh, and Ulrich, what do you think about that negotiation?
Okay, so essentially, I rolled a 12 plus, and you're like, well, no, actually, I don't want this. I
Um,
want this.
yeah, I think the answer, the way the move works is it
Yeah,
says,
just to understand, yeah.
yeah, if they don't, uh, I think your request was in trade for the blackmail material, you
Yeah.
would give me a position on uh Viacent,
Viacent.
Hmm.
and my answer is no, but you could get this from me if you give me a position on Merlist, um,
Mhm.
Right.
because I find that to be more stable.
So you're
Yeah.
turning down the XP that you would have gotten if you'd agreed to the offer, and
Yes.
but you are revealing, but if you do this thing for me, then we're good. We have a covenant.
That's
Yeah, and
right.
I think Ulrich almost laughs a little and he's like, here I'm trying to give you cushy retirement and you just want more actual work. Uh, all work, no play makes you a dull boy, Rix. But if that's what you want instead, I can, again, under the same circumstances, you'll have to ensure my safety so I can get it signed into pass, but you will get a transportation director positions in the free air in Merlist to the free area, and you can be in charge instead of ferrying party boats, just supplies.
Uh, Mayorship of Zigo.
What other responsibilities would come with being mayor other than just dicking around with transportating goods?
Is that a question for Rix?
Kind of
Yeah.
it's
Who are
for
you
Rich,
asking?
yeah. I
Okay.
think that's for
For Rich.
Rich, yeah.
For Rich. Okay. Rich, not Ricks. Okay.
Yeah, Rich, not Rick, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I just want to make sure. Um, what is the mayorship? So let's be clear. We're saying that this is in Merlis, which we're stating here, or at least you're asserting, Stephen, is not part of the Free Worlds region, but because when I'm looking at the lines, it looks like it's part of the Free Worlds, and I'm
No.
not saying no, but
Yeah, no, I am saying it's part of the Free Worlds region,
okay, okay, good.
but that Barnaba has an outpost there.
And you want control of the outpost, so
And I want to strengthen it
of course,
through House so that House Barnaba can get access to that hyperspace lane, which seems real juicy for them. Because they don't have a hyperspace lane that goes through their territory, and they've got one right in there about right next door.
hmm cool. And then the question from Kay is the mayorship. I mean, it's a political official. It's a bajillion things you've got to do.
Yeah, because he's kind of like Rick's. It's not just securing that. You're gonna have to do other boring fucking political things, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
trying to give.
it's a
Yeah, there's.
political position in a hotbed that Barnaba has a toehold in, but the free worlds they don't give a shit about House Barnaba. Some of them don't like. So he's in trouble. The protection House Barnaba can offer protection to a point, but
Yeah.
if Rix doesn't manage it well, you can make no guarantees. I just don't see how you could follow that up easily. So you may have to pull Rix's
Oh.
out of there. It's
Mm.
the way I imagine that going. Does
So I
that seem
think that
fair?
explanation. So I think that explanation is something that Ulrich provides to Rix, and is
Yeah,
like,
because
this is what you'd have on top of it, and this is why you want the transportation.
this is why you want the other job. I am giving you, like, yes, the other one sounds more fun, and in fact, perhaps if you want, you can come as an advisor and advise in doing things, but the position of actually sitting there is dangerous, and I wouldn't want to endanger you in that way. That would be unfair in my dealing to you.
That
Of
is.
course,
Go ahead.
of course now, if I wasn't a member of your crew and I didn't care, I'd just let you go there and die. But I believe we've owed each other more than that.
That's very wise of you. Um, I appreciate your candor, and I think that what you propose sounds good. And I think at that point, um, I will pull out the data crystal, and I'll walk over and I'll hand it to Lord Ulrich, and I'll say, of course, this isn't my only copy. I mentioned dead drops, and whenever our transaction is completed, all of the information will be handed over. But I think, of course, this is enough for now.
I think this is a good start. And he'll take it, put it in his robes. If you'll give me but a moment, I will get the signature necessary on the dotted line to move forward with this.
And Rick has a big grin on his face, and he was like,
Oh,
I knew we would work this out in a way that was profitable for all of us.
oh, no doubt. Valara, Maxon, watch your necks for a little while. You now have information you shouldn't.
And I think Rix will pull out two more glasses, pour half the water from our two goblets,
Oh,
and then all four of us should drink.
oh yeah, no, that's perfect.
That's
Ulrich will
good.
see that and be
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, there we go, because you're Pelagian. You believe in this shit. Uh,
When Ulrich after the ceremony, are we good?
yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll drink the water.
Yep, same.
yeah.
awesome. After the ceremony, when Ulrich, when you head off to communicate, hey, I did the deed. Vinny, our Twillick crew member, she's and again, this is on the Night Insurgent, right? Moving out
The
day.
Revenant, the new one.
No, this is on
Okay,
the
so
Revenant
this is
now.
on the Revenant after moving stuff in. Great.
Yeah.
I prefer that. That's a better idea. Uh, so Vinny comes to. She's waiting for all of this to transpire. You guys were in a secure area. You locked the door. She wasn't eavesdropping. She's waiting for a moment. The moment happens when Ulrich goes out to make communications. She slips in and asks, Cap, can I talk to you for a moment?" And by Cap, she means Rix,
Oh, yes, yes. I'm sorry.
the person
Yeah.
who owns the ship.
Yeah. So and she wants to talk to me here on
Not
the Revenant.
necessarily privately. She just, I want to talk to. Yeah,
Oh,
I need
yeah.
to talk to you.
Yes. So I'll step out but I'll leave the door open, right?
Yeah, she's not asking for a private audience. She just needs to talk to you and knows that you were involved in business that seemed important business with Pelagians and this high muckety muck noble. Uh, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out when Galileo act different, when he was Galileo and when he was the Claudite. Um, what if he's out there, Cap?
I have a line on the Claudites, and I can pursue whether or not I can get that information. Uh, if he's out there, then we'll get him back. He's a member of the crew. If he's not out there, then the Claudites need to pay.
Okay.
I mean, V Vinny, I would do the same for you. I would do the same for anyone, for any of the crew. We'll take care of this.
Thanks, Cap. I just wasn't sure how to deal with this. I feel terrible. How did I not know? How could I possibly not know?
So I'll sit down for a second, like on the nearby bench, and kind of pat the seat next to me, and I was like, Vinny, the thing you have to know about this is don't ever trust anyone. What made you want to trust Galileo? You two were close?
Yeah, we've saved each other a few times. Um, I'm sorry, Cap. I trusted him.
It's not your fault. Um, this is this is the way that the world works. Should you trust the noble houses? Yes, until you can't. Should you trust your best friends and your other crew members? Yes, until you can't. In this case, you can't. And now we're going to see what happened to Galileo. Um, I wouldn't let this shake you up too much, but it is a good lesson.
Right. Thanks. She nervously plays with one of her leku as she walks away, still
Um,
off balance.
so on the Night Insurgent, did Vani and Galileo share the same quarters?
Yeah,
Okay. Are they partners or are they together?
I think they're partners,
Okay.
but maybe there are times where you're like, but maybe they're together.
Yeah, yeah. Um, then I'm going to make sure whenever I make the assignments, the crew assignments for the Revenant, I'm going to make sure that Vani is put into a two-person bunk, right, area because we're going to get Galileo back. And that'll be a
Nice.
subtle message to her, you know,
That's great.
we'll still take care of him.
Yeah, I'm looking at the very awesome deck plans for this particular ship, and I love deck plans like more than they really deserve. So Max and Valara, the two of you are left alone for a moment. Valara, you receive a call from Katarina to arrange you being her second. And Max, when you're there, you get to eavesdrop. Or, just be around.
Yeah.
Eavesdrop's a little accusatory. Sorry. Sorry. I didn't mean it that way.
Katerina, it's a surprise.
I am prompt, and we must conduct this duel soon. It seems a number of things have changed for Lemaire, and he is eager to take care of this. Are
What
you
were the terms
available?
negotiated?
It's not to the death,
And it is with sabers, I suppose.
of course. Exactly as I would have it.
Let me remember this. So Katerina is the one who charged, right?
Yes.
So
Ulrich got her all fired up,
that means
and
Ulrich got that means Lemaire got to choose the terms or the weapon.
uh, how did we do it,
I
Mark? I think
forget.
it was like
Listen to
challenge, yes
challenge
or
and
not.
then choose the weapon and then choose the venue.
So Katerina chose the terms. Oh no! Come back, Kay. You want to wait?
I think we can keep this and catch K up
Okay.
because it seems like internet issues might be frequent.
It is not to the death, and that's your choice.
Correct. Perhaps I'm
Maxon
getting
just mutters
weak.
under his breath, coward.
I will be your second, Katerina.
Thank you.
But I do have some terms.
I see. And what are these terms, Lady Valara?
I would like you to apologize to Maxim.
What? Why would I apologize to him? He should be thankful I did not have him brought up on charges. There, that is my apology. He is still breathing.
I wish no more ill will between the two of you.
You
If
assume
you
I think
will,
about him at all.
I guarantee he thinks about you often.
If he weren't a money-grubbing commoner mercenary, I might say the same.
Oh, the terms for charm an NPC here.
I think you've set up Charming NPC. That sounds great.
Let me roll plus the cha. Which I
You're
two
very
plus the. I
charismatic.
am
You've got
very
the riz.
charismatic. I got the cha.
I
Ooh,
went from
I
hating the
do
term
have the
riz until
cha.
finding out that it's short for charisma and then going, okay, it's all right.
So it's just
It may
cha.
proceed.
I was a 12.
That is great.
Uh, yeah. What is the easiest way to convince her not to end the hostilities between her and Maxon?
Her preference is that it be a private apology because she is very concerned that a commoner who is dishonorable like Maxon would use this to harm her reputation as well as the reputation of the sentinel position that she now holds.
Valara will try to get a read off of Maxon's face if it's not currently under a helmet
It's not covered yet.
ab- about whether or not that's amenable to Maxon.
I think, yeah, Maxon grins and nods.
I will be your second, Katerina. We will arrange this after the duel. The mayor is not exactly honorable, by the way, just because you have chosen non-lethal stakes. That is, I would bring your best.
Uh, Delightful. Thank you for agreeing to be my second, Lady Nova. And then just cuts the call. She had several responses and she chose the nice one, the polite one. Boy, Charming NPC and Charm NPC. I think that's my worst decision. Those move names. Maybe it's the way we're using them. I don't know, but Charm just does
Zazzle!
not
No,
manipulate. It just seems so much better. The other words would be so much better. Cool. So Lord Ulrich, you reach out to speak to Arabella directly. It doesn't have to be a long conversation, but I do want to hear how you spin this one. High Lady Varen Arabella takes your call. Oh, it's good to hear from you again, Lord Ulrich.
When you say take my call, like, am I in person with her, or is this like
I
a?
don't know. You wanted you said you
He,
wanted to
yeah,
talk to her,
he
so how
he
do you want
wants to.
that?
Yeah, he wants to be in person, so he would have gone to
Okay,
her.
awesome. So she would take your visit.
Hmm.
You come into these are very high up in the tower, a wing nowhere near the previous unpleasantness. Beautiful view of the ocean, and you come in. She's dressed comfortably. Like this is a thing that maybe perhaps she is showing you, because you hold a certain status.
He'll take that and appreciate that. My lady, I have the first part in what you've asked of me, and he will take the physical chip and he will put it down. Actually, no, he wouldn't put it down. He will hold it out in his hand like an offer to her.
Awesome. I want to paint just a little bit of scene so we have some
Yay.
Arabella and also Pelagon Tower stuff. So, who has an idea for something ostentatious that House Pelagia has made sure is here to impress their House Barnabin guest?
There are the windows have like it's not stained glass windows. They're clear, so they let the sunlight come in. But in the center of each of the windows, there's like a little prism that flashes rainbows around the room.
That's wild. There any other something
There's
ostentatious
a
or perhaps very nice?
there's a chandelier above that is it's slowly dripping water
Mm.
down these like golden they're almost like mushroom shaped kind of things, dribbling water, but it's all a hologram of water because as it would drip off into the room, it just disappears.
Oh, that's wild. That's
Nice.
nice. And then, uh, Mark, if you want this, great. If not, then you can
Uh,
defer to others.
no, I was gonna do a fountain, but that's way better.
This is about High Lady Varen Arabella. What is in her current state of slight undress? What is a mark or a scar that she normally keeps hidden
Hmm.
that Lord Ulrich is to see perhaps the first time, unless he has really good spies?
Is there a like a like a house seal that is like branded somewhere on the
Ooh,
like under the collarbone or something?
nice, man. That is some dedication. So this is what the House Barnaba seal from. This is not the best quality scan of it, but it's the best quality I could find. It's like a dragon on what appears to be a red sun with some cool
Yeah,
filigree stuffy stuff going on. Nice. And you say this is
it's a brand.
a brand.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
How
a little bit larger than it needs to be and kind of intricate.
very cool. So you see the brand, Lord
Yeah.
Ulrich, as you hold out the data crystal for her. She comes over and does the like reaches and touches your hand slightly before she takes the data crystal away. I hover between two responses. The first being, I'm so impressed that you work so quickly, but I'm also curious if it were so easy. Why did Rix hold this against us for so long?
If someone in your retinue had informed me that this was around, it would have been dealt with quicker. But unfortunately, knowledge of such did not meet my ears until you told me today.
Which means that a great deal of the house who have been concerned about this have failed me where you did not.
I'm afraid so, my lady. And to be honest with you, this is part one of fixing the problem. This is the physical hard copy. Should anything happen to him before an instatement of the minor deal that I've arranged, that would honestly solve an issue for us in terms of transportation within one of our planets, he has dead man drops ready.
Hmm. I see. So this is merely a taste of what you have arranged, not
But
a.
a month after our marriage, the rest of it will be no longer a problem.
Alex approached me about the impending wedding. You said
What?
the two of you have come to an understanding.
It is an option, if it would please you.
You don't want me. You just want my position?
Oh, absolutely not. If that's what Lemaire took away from that, then he is more a fool than I thought.
You
But
said that he would mate with me and that you only wanted the office.
I offered him the opportunity to have that as well. I think he could be useful in terms of protection. His physicality is impressive, and he has a loyalty in him and a fire for you that, if propelled in the right way, I've seen amongst other saber-raking knights, and he thinks of like Valara, can do great things to protect a house. And I think it would be possibly a waste to lose that, but only if you are comfortable and you find him desirable, my lady. I would never, of course, want you not to have it. But of course, we would be married and I would deny you nothing. And I think he like will kind of he'll actually reach out and take her hand that doesn't have the data crystal and like put it against his chest.
You could tell she's very unsure about, well, Lemaire says that you worked out this thing and you don't want me, and now you're giving a very different story. And so she's pondering, okay, which of these are true? You are a powerful House Barnabin. Are you trying to charm her? I guess is the question that I'm asking.
Um, yes, but he's being honest. I don't know
Hmm.
what that if that has anything to do with it, but he is being honest.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Let us see if you convey the truth of the matter to her in a way that she would trust.
Give me a color.
Red.
Red. Red for passionate love. Jesus, that is a 7.
Wow.
Eke that
That
one out.
is such so close, so close, so very, very close. Promise me, Ulrich, that
Hmm.
if 1 month after we are wed, I never hear again of the threat that Rix poses to our house.
Of course, he would not be a threat. In fact, he'd be a useful tool, a gift from me to you.
Very well. And I think we'll cut from there. We star wipe away. She seems, yes, I'm happy with this. She is charmed enough. Oh, shall we skip to the duel, or are there things that people want to do before that they feel like would happen before that? The duel has heat, so I want to get to it, but I don't want to skip past. Okay, sounds like no one had a no, but we have to XYZ, so we will we'll jump to the duel. Again, duels are technically illegal, and therefore House Pelagia and House Barnaba would not officially recognize these duels. And there is still the matter of the Star Destroyer in orbit over. And so, as we begin this scene, we see a large number of stormtroopers are about. Help to keep the peace, everyone whispers, because at this point, Pelagia is not supported enough to attempt to oust Imperials from their midst. Do we reuse a set piece that we have had before for this?
I had an idea.
Oh,
Ooh.
What if we duel a board the Barnabin giant Harvest Moon ship.
Ooh, that sounds really cool. Hmm. Sounds fun.
It would be removed from the influence of the Empire. It would
Away from the
be,
private eye, or from
uh,
the public eye. Of course, some Pelagians might just so happen to be visiting Barnabin officials drawing up contracts. Oh, there just so happens to be this little going on here. Uh, what is a place on the Harvest Moon where this duel will take place? Is it an area that is visible to the outside? Is it deep in the innards near the engines? Is it what is something that's it's space operatic for where this duel would take place? And of course, our Pelagian players can throw in, but anyone else who has an inspired idea, let's
I think a
I
hangar
think
would be fun, right?
hangar could be very fun, big and open space. Okay, you were starting to say something?
Oh, I was going to suggest, speaking of operatic, perhaps there is so needless on a ship, but so Barnabin, a just giant open floor where a party could be hosted, but there's also like a secondary lift where there could be a stage, and then there's like little like balconied like alcoves and seats that one could watch as if one was at like an actual opera, for if they wanted to host an event on the ship or a dance or anything of that.
Seems appropriate. Perhaps this is a duel that just happens to happen during a little soiree held by the Barnabans, a bacchanal, perhaps, or just a get together. Cool.
can I jungle school those together?
Ooh.
The Barnabin hangar, when it's not being used to hold fighters, is their ballroom.
Full
That's cute.
purpose.
Love it. All right.
Harvest Moon, a multi-purpose. It's one of those. Yeah, it's a baseball. It's a baseball field, and then overnight, it becomes the football field for the Argonauts. Yay! Okay, that's cute. A mixed purpose. Isn't that what it's called? Or mixed use? Mixed use.
Yeah.
Yes. Multi-purpose room.
Multi-purpose room. Yeah.
There we go. That's the term.
God,
Uh,
how
um,
often is there so much repair? Like, how much money has been spent on repairing stuff to make this place look beautiful after like they've used it for a round of as fighting holding? So much money.
what is money? It's what
Because
keeps
it's
everyone
so much
fed.
mahogany. So much mahogany.
Cool. So we pick up with the Barnaban and the Pelagian, approaching with the seconds. Um, ooh, so Lord Ulrich,
Mhm.
what is something we notice about the person who Lemaire has chosen to be his second? 'Cause
I
I don't.
thought I was chosen to be his second.
Okay, cool. Because I started to ask, and then I thought, oh wait, no, maybe. So you're the that's right. Because you guys are facing. That's good, 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 good. Hey, past me is smarter than current me, and I'll
Mhm.
just reap those benefits now. So it's a raised platform in the hangar area. There's music going on and people dancing, but of course, a number of people are rubbernecking. And then there are holographic displays showing the two warriors approaching each other, Valara and Lord Ulrich. The two of you are the seconds. Rix, what happens if as a second, if the primary is unable to duel, does the second have to step into their place? Isn't that their function?
I think so.
I think so, but I think to a certain extent the it's sort of like a renegotiation of a duel. It's almost a second duel.
Hmm.
By becoming a second, you agree to dueling the second of the other person, but you get to renegotiate things. Like you get to start over with location, weapon, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Maxon, have you done something to keep Katarina from being able to perform this duel? The answer is no. That's perfectly okay.
Ooh. No, I think I want to see how it plays out.
Oh, lovely.
Yep.
Lovely. And honorable. So proud of you.
I don't know about that. But I will be in attendance close by.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Well, we've been at this for a bit. So just before this moment, I'd love for us to take our single mid-game bio breaks. Let's do that now. All right, we're back. We are headed towards Lord Ulrich and Valara just staring at each other and doing nothing interesting while NPCs do things.
Well, Ulrich, right before the battle, is going to lean on Lomare's shoulder and say, I've done my part in ensuring that I'm worthy of the deal that goes ahead. I expect you to prove yourself to both the lady and myself in this moment. And I'm going to use Inspiring Individual to give him 1d4 forward damage, and I'm like, prove your worth, pretty boy, Let's see what you can do.
Excellent. Excellent. Why don't we I don't know. This may not be fair on the account, but I'm gonna propose it and then we can talk about other things if that doesn't work. But what if we engage with a light foil dual move with Valara portraying Katarina and Ulrich, or basically Greg rolling for Katarina, Kay rolling for Lemaire. Does that sound okay? Interesting?
Let's talk modifiers.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I'm
Mhm.
fascinated in a way that Katarina may not be able to fight.
well, Maxon, I gave that opportunity. Maxon didn't take it. So it sounds like he wants to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I want to see
Okay.
just see if her light foil goes off by itself at some point.
Oh my. That
I mean,
seems.
Rich, you could always just roll a die of fate to determine, 1, 2, 3, Katarina is out of the match, or 4, 5, 6,
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. Or I could just go with what I think is most interesting because the idea of Ulrich in a duel seems like not going to be fun, but the person who created a duelist involved in a duel does sound fun, which is
No, I'm okay with playing out Katarina too. I think that's interesting as well. We've
okay.
had both of these characters have had both the NPCs kind of need their moment in a way, and it would be fun to be Katarina for a second.
Are you okay, Kay, stepping in as the mayor, or would you like to hand that off to someone else, or do you have another?
Um, I'm happy to do it or hand it off to someone else. My thing is, I just don't want to use, I don't think it's fair to use my stats because I don't
No,
think,
no, no, not at all.
like,
No.
No, they both. I think they both have a +2 to represent their skill set, and
I don't know.
I
I
think.
kind of like being an audience member here. I think Steven is the one who hasn't had a chance to be in a duel.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you're up for it, Steven,
yeah.
being Alex Lemaire's champion, I've given you a +1d4 to harm and an inclination
Stevie
that you.
thought it was snack time, and it turns out it's duel time.
That sounds awesome.
Mhm.
Well, I
Excellent.
mean, do we want to do it with Maxon playing Katarina?
Oh no, I stabbed myself.
Just thinking that. I was
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. No.
No, I think Mark as Maxon may throw something
wrench in the
in,
curve. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it might
Okay.
be good to have Maxon
Okay.
as Maxon.
I might force her hand. Oh.
Ooh.
Indeed. Make her look foolish. Okay, as a reminder, our light foil duel move is on the dueling tab of our character keeper. When you engage in a light foil duel, first determine the stakes. The duel will end when one champion yields or dies. Yeah, that
We've
seems
chosen yield.
okay. Establish what your character hopes to gain if they win. What does Katarina hope to gain here? I think Katarina was out to embarrass the mayor for the sake of Lord Ulrich, right? That's the
Mhm.
whole reason
Correct.
that she
This is
rolled.
this is an architect Ulrich has created this where Katarina is kind of in this tough spot here where she is forced to duel somebody who is suddenly now Ulrich is the second. So Katarina might be under the impression that Ulrich is going to do some sort of rug pull
That's
on
true.
Lemaire, right?
That's true.
Oh, it wins on all sides. It's great.
Mhm.
And then what is it, Stephen? What do you think Lemaire hopes to gain from this? There was a little bit where Ulrich said, "Yeah, don't mess up." Um, but what does Lemaire hope to gain from this?
Um, so what's the benefit that uh does Lemaire gain anything with the High Lady Arabella from this? Is this a political?
Just looking hot.
Looking
Yeah.
hot and capable and
Ulrich seems to have
Oh,
planted a seed that Arabella will look fondly on Lemaire's victory and proving Barnaba's superiority in this. But he could have another motive. Why is it he agreed to this duel?
yeah. I'm
We
gonna
could
go
reveal
off.
this if you if
Yeah,
you're
I'm gonna
leaning
go
that
off
way.
script. I'm gonna say Lemaire um was politically motivated um to court the High Lady Arabella, but he was torn because one of her lady in waitings he developed a relationship with.
ooh.
And I think that he wants to look good for this lady in waiting um that is yet to be named. Um so yeah, I think that's what it I think he wants to look good for them, so this will give him a reputation. Oh, wait. Ooh,
And
okay.
Jace all along. No.
No,
Mm.
I'm gonna say that it is Regna Renata. He
She
wants
got
to
Oh,
kicked
look
out.
good for Regna. She's still alive, right?
I
Yeah,
thought she got kicked out though.
she's in trouble for
might be a
sure.
Claudite.
Yeah.
She, she's
I
been
think
she's been claudided so many times.
she has. But I think that he wants so Lord Lemaire has an interest in Regna Renata,
Oh,
a romantic interest,
the
and if
waitress,
he
really?
can put down Katrina or Katerina, then he has more claim to the Lady Regna.
The
Hmm.
waitress. Ulrich just
No,
rolling his eyes.
no, she's a lady in waiting. She's a
Interesting.
beautiful lady, beautiful lady. Sorry, sorry about the rambling. I
No,
just
no, it's
thought
good.
But
we should tie it into an existing NPC if I could.
Yeah,
mm,
I get where you're headed, and I'm down with that. The twist for Jice was really out there.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just joking
Renata's
about Jace.
that's good. That way she actually gets like, oh, I get a happy thing. A guy actually cares about me. It doesn't just call me a waitress. Yay. Cool.
So
So
that is the thing that I'm risking is my honor, and looking good for the lady in waiting, Lady Regna.
Yeah, and I
nice.
think what has Ulrich promised Katarina if she defeats Lemaire?
Nothing. She just wants to impress him, is the thing. She's all goo goo eyes over him and wants him to be happy. And she's like, oh, well, why don't you do this for me? And she's
Oh,
like, okay.
Katarina. Oh, so Katarina is fighting to impress Lord Ulrich.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh,
Hmm.
well, this is
And
pretty
to make
interesting.
his dreams come true. Because the exact phrasing was get rid of the last competitor.
Huh. I forgot that wrinkle that Katarina's got it for Ulrich now. Oh boy,
All the ladies want him.
complicated duel.
Oh, I just said the +2, but that's actually not true because Life Will Duel move
No,
has these
yes, we
questions. You
roll
roll with
with
questions.
questions.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I do we just roll like a roll against roll or
Oh,
because this
good
is really set up
question.
to roll against an NPC.
It is set up for a roll against an APC. Boy, oh boy.
PC versus PC, we enter Hearts of Wulin territory.
Oh man. PC versus PC. We are now there. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's move to the right. When you challenge another PC to a duel, we've now elevated Lemaire and Katarina to wow, this is wacky. I'm sorry. But I'm loving it anyway. So Lemaire and Katarina are now PCs, and when you challenge another PC to a duel, say what you'll give them if they will accept your victory. So, who made the challenge? It was Katarina who laid the challenge.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's true. It's hacks all the way down. So
Yes.
many hacks. So,
Okay, so this is if what will Katarina offer that for Lemaire to lose?
yes, you may offer. There are a lot of, and it can be mechanical things. Um, yeah, you put a single offer on the table. Wow, this is left field, but I think it'll be fun, and it's more fun than a bunch of die rolls back and forth. So let's do it. Okay. So the way that it works, I'm highlighting it in case you want to click. Challenge another PC to a duel. Say what you'll give them if they'll accept your victory. You may offer unspent experience points, character actions, gear, hold, letting them narrate the moment, or anything in game the GM approves. If the other player accept, oh, you put a single offer on the table.
Yeah,
This is not a
single
back and
offer.
forth. Single offer.
Okay.
If the
There's no
other player
negotiation here.
accepts, they lose the duel and mark XP. You must follow through on your offer. If the other player rejects the offer, you both mark a debility, and the offered player chooses to win or draw.
I will make it look like Lemaire has died and you can run off and elope with the waitress and give up this life of noble whatever. And it will escalate to the point of violence. And I will make it look like you died and secret you away through my contacts in the corrupt Pelagian Navy, and you can live your life somewhere on the outer rim together happily in peace. That is my offer.
And if I understand correctly, there is no negotiation in this. It is yes or
Correct.
no.
It is
You
yes
make
or
a
no.
single offer, and then now you have the choice. You accept it, and that is how it will happen. Or you um, reject the offer. Both of you would mark a debility, which is a stellar conflict thing. And then you, Steven, choose whether to win the duel or if it comes to a draw.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to narrow this down. I either choose one option is I win or we draw. The other option is um I get to
You lose, but you lose in a way where you die and can elope with Regna Renata.
okay, I'm going to ask a question that I don't fully understand about the noble houses and how this is handled.
Of course.
If Lord Alex Lemaire defeats Katarina, does he become the Sentinel of the Western Sea?
I think that should be answered by our Pelagians.
I think Maxon should answer that
I think
because
he
that's more
does.
interesting.
I think he does. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I think in that case, I'm going to reject the offer, marketability, and choose to win in order to become the Sentinel of the Western Sea to court Lady Renata. Yeah.
And I think part of that win is Maxon using the force to turn off her light foil
Oh.
at a significant
Oh,
as
snap.
like as you do a strike, she goes to block
Oh.
it.
You win. Let me ask. We're in now kind of past the stick narration mode as this win is happening. Stephen, as Lord Alex Lemaire, when her light foil, the Sentinel's light foil, turns off, you have the ability to wound her and likely win at that moment, or no one would blame you if you killed her.
Accidentally.
So I I fully expect Lemire fully expects her to block this.
Mhm.
And whenever her light foil turns off, she is not killed, but she is left with a very visible scar,
Oof.
like a facial scar, I think.
Mhm.
Um, that it will always be a badge of her loss.
Dang. All right, NPCs moved way off to the right there. I gotta move them back. Um, yeah, it is a. I think that until that moment, this is two masters of the dueling craft.
Absolutely.
They're not. We don't see Jedi stuff, but we see an incredible duel. Um, is Katarina's style against Lemaire? Is it acrobatic or is it just pure? Because when she fought against Valara, she
She
shifted between
played with
numbers
Valara a
yeah,
little.
yeah. She
Yes.
played Valara a little bit. She was a little bit like a cat in that, and also she shifted multiple styles.
Mhm.
How does Katarina fight in this duel? Is it the same, or does she have a different approach to someone she considers her equal?
I think when she begins the duel, she does what is proper and what is, seen as correct, which is she duels Lumiere in the style of a House Banarban duelist. And they fight, and then there's the moment right where the lightsaber turns off and she gets the gash. Um and is that where the duel ends? Technically, no, she doesn't yield,
Mhm.
right? Because it's to the yield. And it's at that point where she turns and she starts fighting hard in the House Pelagian style. Um, and does get Lumiere a bit on his back foot for a moment. But I'll let Steven finish it.
Yeah. So how does Lord Alex Lemaire snatch this threat and snatch victory from not the jaws of defeat, but from this momentary lapse when he's on his back foot for just a moment?
So Lemaire is very confident in that, whenever he's fighting with the Barnabas style, he's very good at this. And, you know, Katarina is not going to be able to beat him. And then her light flow turns off and she takes a grievous wound. And I think she redoubles her attack in the new styles, and he is shaken by the wound that he gave unintentionally, almost as if he broke the rules, but he didn't really break the rules. Um, and he uses her lack of being able to see on that side from the wound in order to slip in. She could beat him if she wasn't wounded. If this had been a fair fight, he would have been with this style. He realizes he was cocky at first and thought, "Oh, I'll be able to take this out, no problem." But after the wound, she redoubled her efforts in a different style that he probably couldn't have countered if she hadn't been wounded. And he's going to take her out by taking advantage of her um, loss of sight on that side.
Nice. Maxon, what is it that you feel when you reach out to the force? What's going through your mind when you wound Katarina in this underhanded way?
I think the motion feels familiar because that's similar to what I did in our duel with her
Hmm.
gun. But I think there's like an additional pull to it this time, and I almost feel like someone is watching me in my brain as I'm doing it.
Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Ulrich, you watch as Lemaire severely wounds. This is a permanent wound, Katarina, and you sense the tide shift. Katarina is going to lose. And you realize that some of that damage she took is because Lemaire is so inspired. Is there anything that you do before Lemaire takes the fight?
Oh, absolutely not. Zero fucks given. These were both his pawns set up to best each other, and he's just watching the show, looking over to see if High Lady Arabella, he wins either way. It's just which of his toys is better.
Nice. Arabella isn't here. You know that she's watching, but she couldn't
Mhm.
possibly.
Oh
Like,
yeah, she
this is
couldn't possibly be
super
here
illegal.
physically. And besides, if I'm on the side that won, technically that's just even more better. You know, either he died and was gone and it was just me, or he won, I helped him, and I'm on the winning side. So it's all gravy as far as Ulrich was concerned in this entire fight. He could give no fucks.
How is it then in the last moment? How is it that Katarina finally yields?
Um,
She
yeah.
notices Ulrich. There's a way she senses that Ulrich, this was a game to Ulrich. He seems so
Right.
uninterested in Katarina's victory.
So Katarina is fighting heavily and offensively, um, but is being beat by, strikes from the side that she can't see any longer. Um, and finally, she senses just the heat of the blade up against her face. And she doesn't see Lemaire at that moment, but she is staring directly into Ulrich's eyes as she says, I yield. And
And Ulrich, oh,
if
go ahead.
Ulrich is paying really close attention, they might notice that, like, the blood where that wound is, it's Claudite blood. Do you want to do that? I don't know. I'll leave
Okay.
that up to the group.
Pull the group. Yeah, pull the group. Is it too much? Are we good with that?
I
Is
think
that
that's
interesting?
a hat on a hat. No, no, no. She's
Okay.
yeah. Katarina's just I yield, but she's staring at Ulrich.
Ulrich isn't even looking at her.
Mm, mm, mm.
He goes to congratulate Lemaire. Doesn't even spare her a glance.
Mm.
Richard's like, oh my God.
So, so vicious, so mean. It's good.
Uh, Katarina stands up and she starts making her way towards Ulrich. She still has the light foil.
Uh, hey, Max, and remember when you're sworn to protect me and this person you want to kill is
Mhm.
coming at me?
Oh yeah.
Valara um is rapidly running at Katarina. I would like to roll defend.
Okay. This sounds fun. A little bit of serpent eating its own tail, but I want Valar to defend, so
Oh shoot, I
this
lost the
sounds fun.
roller.
No.
Well, I don't know. Is Maxon, are you making aggressive movements towards Katarina?
I mean, if she makes a move on Ulrich, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Da. Safety and roller. I lost my dice. Defend with, defend with, defend with.
Should be con.
Con. Thank you. Which I think is a flat for me. Yep.
You are not a big defender.
But I get one even if I fail. Okay. I will take two hold. Oh no, I get one. Never mind.
Cool. Then Katarina is she's decided she's just going to take Ulrich out. Is that what
I
the Valar's defending from? That sounds fun.
Valara is defending Katarina because Maxon is coming at her.
Oh,
And
sorry,
the
I got.
apology has happened, right?
Okay.
Has it happened yet,
No, you
Maxon?
said it
Oh
will
no, it
Or
happens
happen
after.
after. You said it
happened?
will
Oh,
happen
that's
after.
right.
You talked her
That's
into
right.
like waiting, and she agreed to it because so she thought it was all good. Okay, so Maxon, she's going after Max. Sorry, for some reason I got
Ulrich.
a little
He's going
lost.
after Ulrich. Yeah.
So she's moving after Ulrich,
Hmm.
Yes. Katarina's moving
and
after Ulrich. Valara is stepping in to stop Maxon.
And I will step between Katarina and Ulrich.
Okay.
And
okay, okay. Sorry,
yeah,
Yep.
I don't know how I got mixed up, and I apologize there. But this is interesting. Cool. So now Valara, you have the defend move fired. Maxon, you are moving in because Katarina wants to kill Ulrich,
yeah.
and she sees you and now realizes, hey, maybe I won't have to apologize to this commoner.
Mhm.
Blind as she is with rage, and she's going to, I believe she has a D8. She's just going to attack you.
Great.
That sounds like a thing she's going to do. So please roll a D8.
D8. A 4.
Ah, and do you have armor
I
aplenty?
I do have 3 armor. Yeah, I think I if she like comes at me us and I just like put up my arm and the thing like smacks into it and I get a nasty little cut from it.
You get woos. Yeah. What
Wounds.
do you wish to do?
I wish to uh, instantly pull out that that nasty little slug thrower that I used on the aliens the first episode. The shotgun. Like I've got the light foil here, and the shotgun comes out underneath and shoot in the belly.
Uh, I would like
Yeah,
to
defend.
defend. Um, and I would like to suffer the damage instead of my ward.
Ooh, all right.
Okay. To roll that damage then. Oh my goodness.
That's
Oh,
only
it's a mere
3.
2 plus 1,
3. Yeah.
3. Not
3,
so
and my armor
bad.
takes 2. Right, yeah. Maxon, stop. We had a deal.
I don't hear an apology.
Fine way to demand an apology. Ulrich, you are scum.
I look so offended. I like put like a hand in my chest, like half behind Lemaire, like, and I'm gonna use a house move
Uh-huh.
to I look so harmless and innocent as this mean lady is yelling at me. I'm just a baby.
Valara, you're trying to defend Katarina?
Katarina, yes,
Hmm.
because we had a deal.
Yeah. She's wholly
Yes.
focused on Maxon and Ulrich. You're
Yep.
defending her, which means I think you still have a hold,
I
right?
have one more hold.
Hmm.
You see Lemaire has slid around and seems to be coming up from behind her. Her threat to Ulrich, Lemaire's decided he may act at this point. This will be terrible if a Barnaban noble strikes down outside
Yeah.
of a duel, strikes
Yeah.
down a Pelagian noble.
Um,
What do you do?
can I use one of my hold to essentially use one of my pin down moves? That's not strictly in the rules here.
I'm interested. This is a hack of a hack of a hack. So if we want
Yeah,
to
okay. I
do
would
that,
look to pin down Lemaire so they can't do anything, but I can't do anything either.
Fantastic.
okay. If you do that though, then you leave Katarina in Maxon's hands.
I'm sadly aware, but that That is inter-house drama. Lemaire's about to spark a war. Um, so yeah, I will pin down Lemaire.
Okay. Yeah, you see he slides along, his light foil ignites, and it looks like he's going to take a cheap shot on a person who's threatening Ulrich, and you roll off of defending her from Maxon,
Hmm.
leaving her free to do whatever what she's going to do to Maxon so that you can pin down Lemaire and prevent a internecine or a house versus house debacle. Uh, Katarina sees that she's freed from Valara, and there's a moment when she realizes, oh, Ulrich used her. Maxon, you're Maxon. And she extinguishes her light foil. My apologies for offending you, Maxon.
Apology accepted. And I'll pull the trigger again.
And because it is 11:25, it what does this do to her? Is this
I,
you?
I think it was down here, so I think she takes a full hit, gets sent back. I don't think it necessarily kills her, unless that's interesting. But she is
I think it's interesting if Maxon just out and out kills her, but it's also interesting if
yeah,
she.
yeah. Let's yeah. I think like a, a +1 slug thrower shotgun blast through the middle, and
Oof.
I don't think she's not armored for that. So
No,
yeah, that's probably not a good time for
she's a
her.
duelist. She is not armored for that at
Yeah.
all. So boom, you just cheap shot her, and she goes down. And as she's lying there in her own blood with her one good eye, Ulrich, she stares only at you,
Yeah, and
whispering Pelagian curses.
Ulrich kneels down by her side and takes her hand and said, "You did a great job, Katerina. Rest well."
And then she spits in your face with blood, and then she expires.
He will take out a handkerchief and wipe it off,
Oh my goodness, that's
drop
wild.
it on her body.
Oh man, poor Sentinel. Although Lemaire now is this the Sentinel, yeah. Rix, what? Um, like, were you there? Were you doing other interesting things?
I was doing other interesting things that I can handle during epilogue. Yeah.
Excellent.
I think before everyone exits, I would like Rick's Maxon would like to go over to Lemaire, who I assume Valar still has pinned,
Yeah,
and say the title goes to Valara. Agreed.
very well. I have a house to run.
Excellent choice. You can let him go, Sentinel.
Valara does it, but not without like a little dig into the back that maybe wasn't necessary. Yeah.
Shoot a
Yeah.
little, just a little. That's good.
And I'll take the thing off of Katerina and hand it to Valara.
Get your pauldron back.
Oh, that's right. It's a pauldron, right?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I shoot for the middle.
Um, yeah. I guess Valara takes it. Yeah, Valara takes it, places it back on her armor.
I'll go help Lemaire up.
Well, certainly didn't go the way I intended.
No, but you looked dashing doing so.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Then there's some music, the people coming out, the dances resume,
Dance
and
resumes as they cart the fucking body away.
yeah,
Cleaning
pretty
droids come
much.
out.
The cleaning crew comes out, yeah, just to carry that away. I think this is the point where we move to our epilogues. So, an epilogue, try not to override. Well, please don't override anyone else's epilogue. It can be days, weeks, months, years later for your character. This is you effectively either putting them to bed or setting up them for a new interesting thing that we may explore in a future Star Wars Saturdays game. We never know. Or you could write your own fanfic later. It's up to you. This is an opportunity for you for if there were parts of this story that you didn't get to bring to completion, you can, and there are no mechanics for this. So it's story time. Who would like to share with us an epilogue for their character first?
I have a question about Trid and Mirabelle.
Yes.
In the coming years, what happens to them?
Can I put an interjection into that? I will say, because one of the things that I was thinking about that we just didn't time-wise work out is I think Ulrich would have had a conversation with Mirabelle, and I don't know if he knows that she killed the guy or not. I don't think he does. And where he like very politely like, because like would ask her to be like a flower girl, and then would point her towards Almond, and she says, "It's not appropriate. I'm too old for you, but oh look at this young gentleman," and et cetera, et cetera. And he'd even say something like, "We've got a few years. If there's anything you want me to teach him, I'll teach him."
Nice.
Like,
To answer the question with that folded in, um, at me, I use this to launch my like year of Tapani crap, and the idea of House Pelagia being Jedi are great, and we have two Force user kids, and the idea of the brother and sister like waxing and waning on the poles of Sith versus Jedi, I think is interesting. So the future is ungiven. I think they are mirrors to those who influence them, and at current, Mirabelle did a thing in hate, but justified in her mind. And Trid has been given some lessons that may him lead him down a particular path. He does have a certain tool.
Right.
Is that a fair answer?
Totally, totally.
Cool.
Yeah, I just want to establish like I have like maybe before I leave, and I'll go first since I'm already talking. Like establish Trid like if you ever need anything anywhere in the galaxy.
Trid very much appreciates that, and he will certainly rely upon Maxon.
And I think Maxon's exit is, I think, to keep up appearances, he has to kind of take off and go after Ayatunde, but not go after, just like, I'm going to go get him. And then we'll probably meet up somewhere and have a drink and laugh it off.
Which I can't remember the dragon movie where the dragon goes to different villages to be defeated by the knight.
Yep.
I can't. Yeah, that a bit of that. That sounds fun. That's a delightful way for Maxon to spend some time. Who would like to go next with epilogues?
I can go next. I think we see Valara. She's on a different ship. It is not Rix's ship.
Hmm.
But it is a similar
Is it
sort
though?
of
Are we sure? Because Rick seems to like have a lot of ships.
a lot of ships.
Sorry. Okay, we see
Yeah.
her on an unfamiliar ship.
An unfamiliar ship. And they're waiting in that asteroid field from the first session. Running dark, and it's Dodd is there running one of the consoles. And they're looking at some intel, and like that's the only light on their face. And then this ship comes out of hyperspace, and at the helm is that midshipman Jonas Balkar, part of the conspiracy. And it's that point that all of the lights go on. Jace is like strapping into the quad laser cannon up top, and we're flying back through through the asteroid field trying to get him.
Lovely. That's awesome. I love action Valara going out and defending. That's great. Excellent. I'd like to go next with epilogues.
I'll go next. I kind of have two. One is during the duel, Rix was talking to um has gone to the detention center to talk to Tan Wessel, and um so during that discussion, a negotiation of type, uh, he says, you know, what happened to Galileo? Is Galileo, did you kill him to take, was he killed to take place, or was he imprisoned and sent off somewhere else to keep him out of the way?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yes,
So I'll
please.
roll a die of fate. On 1, 2, 3, the worst has happened. Galileo was killed and replaced. On a 4, 5, 6, he is somewhere else.
Okay.
6.
Oh, okay, so
He
he
is
is
he is
somewhere else.
alive. He is somewhere
Okay.
else.
I saw the 3 and I was like, okay, he's dead. Okay.
Ah!
From the previous roll.
That's Max's 3.
Okay, so he's somewhere else. Um, so I think that I I appreciate, your candor, uh, Tan, and I try to use my Barnaba connections through House Pelagio to get the Wessels out of prison, so that they are no longer in detention and no longer going to be pushed so hard against. However, in return, the Wessels have to um, end their blood debt of House Corbinian. And this negotiation goes on for some period of time. And then I think we see a time skip, and we see uh Tan probably in the same outfit but a different face on the Revenant, and Rix is there as well, as is Vinay. Vinay? Is it Vinay?
Vinny?
Vinny is there, and we're heading out. Um, and we kind of stop and try to collect Galileo. And then the last one is I'm sitting behind a desk, an opulent desk in an office, and you can see. I think the subtitle comes out, and it's got the uh, name of what was the name of the city?
Oh, it's in chat.
Zigu?
Zigo, I think you said.
Zigo. Zigo, um, offices, and we see Rick's behind this opulent desk. I think that Vinay and Galileo are there, and I'm making negotiations, and we see a stranger that we've never seen before, kind of, I'm making negotiations with a client. They turn to leave, and um, they exit, and I tell Tan, make sure that this person we've never seen before. I say, Tan, make sure that, you keep an eye on them. And this stranger turns and walks out, gives me a wink and walks out with them.
Nice.
I thought Rix took not to undo that because that was beautiful. I thought Rix took the transpo job after Ulrich was like, "Hey, this kind of sucks. You sure you want this?"
Oh, I misunderstood the negotiation. I thought you were offering me the transpo job on Merlist.
Oh.
Did I
Yeah,
misunderstand
that's
that?
not how I heard it. I was hearing it like transpo job off in actual Barnaban territory. I don't
Ah,
imagine that Barnaba has the sway to give a free worlds transpo director job.
okay. Then it's on Vicent.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Thank you, Steven. Sorry for the mix up there. Kay, do you have an epilogue you'd like to share?
Well, yeah, I think it's only a couple of days after that fight and battle and ball, and we see the announcement at Pelagia of the betrothal of Ulrich Corbinian to High Lady Varen Arabella with nuptials, TBH
Mm-hmm.
coming soon.
Yay! So it's just the announcement, like little, they're actually on paper, which we don't see much
Yeah,
in
I
Star
imagine. And
Wars.
then like there's a whole thing where like he won't he didn't he'd be, he'd incorporate Mirabelle so she'd like and like could like run up with like a little box or a flower or something so he could like give her the presentation and he's making gestures to wed Mirabelle to I mean putting that to the side, he's doing his control stuff. But he looks and he's standing next to the lady and then he looks a half step behind as Alex Lemaire and I think he, won not once but twice.
Indeed.
And
All right. Oh,
do we all see like invitations pop up, or is someone not
Oh,
invited?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. All three of you get invitations to the wedding. I mean, after all, Maxon is sworn to keep me safe, and Valara's Warden of the West, and Rix, you're a dear friend and director of transportation for Barnabas. So, of course, you're all invited to the wedding that will happen sometime in the future.
nice. That's cool. Let's end it all. End it all. No, let's finish this session with a quick round of wishes. Everybody, other way around. Stars.
Stars.
Any last stars? Before we call it, I've got just a couple minutes, so please go quickly.
Fun all around.
I really enjoyed the way that the negotiation went at the very beginning with the blackmail material and how we brought all that stuff back. And then I also really liked the duel and how that negotiation was handled. That
Yeah.
was fantastic. And we got to see the another duel mechanic in place.
I know. Thank you,
Yeah.
Greg, for pointing
We
out
hit
the
all the
star to you
duels.
for reminding us. Oh, it's the. I mean, I know you're always like on edge to jump into the Hearts of Within PZ versus PC duel, but I'm glad that it
One of my
actually
favorite moves ever.
narratively and it fit. That was fun.
Star to everyone for making, and occasionally I would forget, but this definitely delivered on the house infighting political intrigue Star Wars that we wanted
Did
it to be. So big stars to everyone for that because we all leaned into it and I loved it.
Yeah, I will iterate a star from the beginning as a thank you to Rich for, despite me misunderstanding, letting me play my little plotting noble and finding a way to make it work that honestly I think turned out better than if he had just been the fiance. I think that made it's so much fun to have the goal. And just great. And Max had killing Katarina at the end, and then Rick's, there's something great about Rick's realizing that like Ulrich and Rick's like in the end, like you want this Rick's, but you actually don't. Like and Rick's like them having that kind of relationship was really beautiful. And then oh Valara, you're so dashing and noble. Thank goodness you stopped Alex from starting a war. That would have been so bothersome.
that would have been cute. Would have been cute. Thank you all so much for playing. It's been a good long 3 months of fun with you. I've quite enjoyed it, and I look forward to future adventures in Star Wars with you. Thanks
Yeah.
everyone for listening, and talk to you guys later.